Good afternoon, students. Myself, Ani. So, in the current semester, I'll be handling urban transportation and planning. So, this is the branch of your transportation engineering. In the previous semester, we have studied about like traffic engineering and highway engineering. Likewise, this is also one of the branch of your transportation engineering. So, here, majorly, you will be studying about how urban transportation will run and how the planning is done to satisfy the urban needs. So these are all the things basically we'll be looking into when it comes to the urban transportation and planning. So we'll just discuss the syllabus for this particular subject. So there are like 5 modules. In the first module we'll be studying about urban transport planning. So before going to actual planning process, we'll be studying about what is the meaning of urbanization, what are the different class of groups, and what are the transportation problems and their identification. Like once we have identified the problems, based on those problems we can suggest the remedial measures. Likewise, we'll be studying about the impacts of transportation, how transportation is impacting on urban growth. So that's the one thing we'll be looking into. Then urban transport system planning process, like how the planning process is done for entire urban scenario. So that's the one more thing we'll be looking into. Likewise, we'll be looking into modeling techniques. Mass transportation. Transportation indicates like travel through buses, railways, or other modes of transportation. So then we'll be looking into what is the importance of public transportation, private mode of transportation, and paratransit mode of transportation. So when I'm talking about this paratransit transport, it's neither completely private nor public. It's a particular class of transportation which is owned by a private person, but they are serving for public mode of transportation. Likewise, we'll be looking into BRTS, that means bus only lane, about that kind of transportation, metro rails. So these are the few things we'll be looking into in the first module. Likewise, in the second module, we'll be studying about data collection and inventories. So here we'll be studying different data collection techniques, how the data is collected for transportation planning. So that's the one thing we'll be majorly looking into using this data collection and inventories. So once we are done with the data collection, how it is expanded. So usually when we are doing the data collection, we'll be going for sampling techniques, because each and every time we cannot go to individual person and collect the data required. So here we'll be going for sampling techniques. Once we are done with the sampling technique, so same thing is expanded for the required number of population. So likewise we'll be doing the data collection. So when it comes to data collection, we'll be having like primary sources and secondary sources. So regarding those things we'll be studying in your second module. Likewise, in the third module, we'll be studying about trip generation and trip distribution. Like trip is nothing but the journey begins from one point and ends at one more point. Like what's the purpose of trip generation, from where to where they are going. So based on that generation, we'll be analyzing the urban traffic scenario. So that's the thing we'll be majorly studying in your third module. And what are all the attraction factors? Say suppose from home, if I am starting my journey, where my journey will end. So the end point will be my attraction modes, whether it may be like colleges, offices, or commercial buildings. So regarding those things we'll be studying in your third module, and there will be like few problems regarding your trip generation and distribution. Likewise, in the fourth module we'll be studying about trip distribution. Like once I am done with the collection of trip generated data, how it is distributed. Here majorly we'll be looking into what are the different routes I can select to reach out my destination. So for that purpose we'll be having certain models like gravity models, opportunity model, time function iteration model. So based on those things we'll be analyzing the scenario. So that thing will be studying in your trip distribution in 4th module. Likewise, in the 5th module, the final thing in your urban transportation planning, the traffic assignment. So here, for each particular route, this many number of trips are assigned. So those things will be studying in your traffic assignment. So there are different methodologies to assign the traffic for particular routes. So those things will be studying. Then finally at the last we can study about the land planning models. So when I am saying this land use transportation, it belongs to the entire urban area in an whole. So using that concept, how to plan the traffic scenarios or transportation planning, that thing will be studying using land use planning models. So altogether there are 5 modules in your urban transportation. In each module you will be studying one stage of urban transportation and planning. So these are all the few textbooks you can refer. So first one you can see Kadiyali LR Traffic Engineering and Transportation Planning. So that's the one of the major book you can go for the reference. Along with that we have other 3 books. For further reference you can use these textbooks. Okay, so we'll study about this thing in detail from next session. So for today's you just understand what is the meaning of urban transportation and importance of this subject. From the next session we'll study in detail what do you mean by urbanization. So based on that we'll just go one by one. Thank you.